Okay, world, everybody wake up. We've got the Golden Dome. We've got new information. It's big. Everybody's going nuts. Wow. Ooh, the Golden Dome, everyone. Okay, let's check it out. Let's hear from Trump. Here we go.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being here in the Oval Office, one of the great places of the world, as we make a historic announcement about the Golden Dome missile defense shield. That's something we want, and Ronald Reagan wanted it many years ago, but they didn't have the technology. But it's something we're going to have. We're going to have it at the highest level. I want to thank Secretary Hegseth, who's been fantastic, and Secretary Rubio and Space Force Vice Chief of Space Operations, General Mike Gutlein. I also want to recognize Senators Dan Sullivan, Kevin Kramer, and Jim Banks, fantastic senators.
All great guys, incredible guys. Okay, now, here's my take, okay? I feel like we already had a dome. Okay, that's just me. I thought we had a dome. All right, you're telling me we didn't have missile defense this whole time, and now we're getting this golden version, and everything's changed? I don't know. I mean, it just sounds like, okay, we're putting slightly more money into a program that's existed since day one. All right, it's got a cooler name. Branding matters, right? Branding matters. Fine, Golden Dome. Everybody, that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna walk down the road. Hey, everybody, hear about the Golden Dome? It's the Golden Dome. It's freaking golden. All right, whatever.
Talents, great political talents, and people that love our country. In the campaign, I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. And Canada has called us, and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them.
So space-based lasers and is that what he said? Lasers and interceptors? Okay. So satellites that can scan information. It just sounds like stuff we already had. I don't know. Maybe slightly newer versions of it, more of it. I don't know.
We want to have protection also. So, as usual, we help Canada.
And yeah, of course, Canada's invited. Like, come on, what are you doing? I mean, oh yeah, we're not gonna take care of Canada. We're just gonna let that whole place become Fallout 3. It's just, come on. Of course, Canada's part of it.
Best we can. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. So we'll have it done in about 3 years. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles, even if they are launched from other sides of the world, and even if they are launched.
And look at the graphic design of the dome on the top right here. I mean, if you're looking at the shape of this dome, I understand we just got to throw a graphic together, right? But first of all, there's a portion of the corner of the United States, the furthermost northwest portion of that main chunk of the United States. Oh, sorry guys, you're out of the dome. Okay, Alaska, poof, that's like way off into the distance. Okay, a huge portion of Canada is clearly already taken care of. I mean, I'm being stupid, but you know.
From space, and we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel with theirs, and it was very successful, and now we have technology that's even far advanced from that, but including...
Even far advanced, even more far advanced, I think is what he meant. Even far advanced. Okay, whatever. We're not going to get too picky.
Hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles, and advanced cruise missiles, all of them will be knocked out of the air. We will truly be completing the job that President Reagan started 40 years ago, forever ending the missile threat to the American homeland, and the success rate is very close to 100%, which is incredible when you think of it. You're shooting bullets out of the air.
Shooting bullets out of the air. Now that actually is incredibly impressive. I feel like, what's a missile? A missile is just a larger bullet out of the sky, right? So is that what he means? But shooting bullets out of the air, I mean, whew, now we're talking.
I'm also pleased to report that the one big, beautiful bill will include $25 billion for the Golden Dome to help construction get underway. That's the initial sort of a down positive.
And that's the other big thing going on right now. It's the one big, beautiful bill. It's beautiful. It's big. There's only one of them. I don't know why I mean, it's a bill. It's another bill. It's another one of these bills. It's got like 6 billion things in it. All right. Hopefully good things squeezing through the one big, beautiful bill. Okay. Everybody getting fired up over the bill. It's a big bill. Okay. And this is part of it, right? You got a golden dome is tucked away in there in one of the notes.
And we have probably, you're talking about, General, we're talking about $175 billion total cost of this when it's completed. This afternoon, I'm also announcing that I will appoint, very importantly, General Gutlein to lead the ambitious new effort as the direct reporting program manager for the Golden Dome. Very talented man, and I'm very honored to have been the one that helped or really created Space Force. Space Force has turned out to be a tremendous success. We were third in space, and now we're number one in space by a lot. It's not even close. And Mike is a 4-star Space Force general, the recipient of the...
I didn't even know we were third in space. Is that true? We were third in space. Who was 1 and 2? And what's changed exactly? I mean, I know we got Elon in the private sector going nuts, playing rocket ships all day and night. I mean, we were third, but I guess we're number 1.
Defense Distinguished Service Medal, one of the most respected people in the world having to do with defense. You know, we have offense and we have defense. I'll bet he's good at offense. And he has an unmatched background in missile warning technology and defense procurement. General Gutlein also knows that we need to move fast. No one is more qualified for his job, and everybody, this was a universal acceptance of General Gutlein. Everybody that knows him and knows everybody else, they said there's only one man for the job, so I have a feeling we have the right guy. But now I'd like to invite Secretary Hegseth and the General to please say a few words and describe the system a little bit. And we appreciate you being here. The press has really been very fair over the last period of a couple of months. I don't know what happened to you.
He's disappointed that the press isn't pushing back with the hatred lately. I mean, that's... I get it. It's like, you know, it's pro wrestling. You know, you need that... It's hard for him to complain about that sort of thing anymore. He had all these adversaries. Everybody's calmed down. Everybody's being pretty relaxed about things. And he's disappointed. He wants the smoke, you know? He wants the smoke, but whatever.
It was so much more exciting the other way. But you've been very, very fair. We have very high poll numbers, the highest we've ever had. And I think we're doing a great job. We had a tremendous trip to the Middle East, as you know.
It was actually an incredible trip to the Middle East, by the way. You got to give him that. It's just like way over the top, awesome series of achievements, like best week ever, basically, in this term.
Amazing trip. And now I came home, and this is the one I was really looking forward to this day, because this is very important for the success and even survival of our country. It's a pretty evil world out there, so this is something that goes a long way toward the survival of this great country. And as I said, we'll be discussing Canada. They want to hook in and they want to see it.
Canada, you're in, all right? Just take my word for it. You're in. Okay, you're in. Just knock it off, Trump.
They can be a part of it. That sort of makes sense. I guess that's what I was talking about from day.
Yeah, it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. That's why it's going to happen. So come on.
Day one, you know?
And by the way, they're already protected by missile defense. So
it just automatically makes sense, and it won't be very difficult to do, but they'll pay their fair share. Thank you.
And that's all it is. It's just like, okay, we're going to use this as another talking point to guilt trip you into, you know, eventually getting you to the to join the U.S. or whatever, right? But it's just like one more talking point to guilt trip Canada. Hey, shout outs to Canada.
Thank you very much, everybody. And Pete, go ahead.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, add this to the long and growing list of promises made and promises kept. Ultimately, this right here, the Golden Dome for America, is a game changer. It's a generational investment in the security of America and Americans. Mr. President, you said we're going to secure our southern border and get 100% operational control after the previous administration allowed an invasion.
I mean, securing the southern border doesn't have anything to do with missile defense. I mean, come on. What is one of the? This is not the same thing, okay? And if anything, southern border stuff. I mean, come on, like we're talking about shooting bullets out of the sky, bullets, not missiles, bullets out of the sky. And now don't conflate it with the southern border. Knock it off.
Of people into our country. President Reagan 40 years ago cast the vision for it. The technology wasn't there. Now it is, and you're following through to say we will protect the homeland from cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, drones, whether they're conventional or nuclear. It's not lost on me, sir, also that you had the vision to start the Space Force. And here we are when the others said we didn't need it. Here we are in the Oval Office with one of the leaders of the Space Force in General Gutlein leading the charge on putting in place a game-changing Golden Dome for America. So, sir, it's an honor to be a part of this bold initiative. We're going to get to work on it. We have been since you signed that executive order on January 27th. We've been fast forward on this, but we're here on this day, and this is just one stop in delivering this defense of the homeland, which is something you've charged us with doing, and we'll keep going until it is complete, sir.
Thank you, Pete. Peace.
I don't like this Pete guy. I don't know. I don't trust him. First of all, he's talking down to us like we don't understand. It's Pete, like, just relax, bro. And, your tie looks like it doesn't look good. It looks bad. You should have picked a different tie. And, just calm down, okay? It's just a little bit more money for your military defense system. All right, chill.
Doing a great job, by the way. Thank you very much. General, please.
Mr. President, today is a great day for the nation as we double down on protection of the homeland. As you're aware, our adversaries have become very...
And yeah, I know we can't see the general. It's cropped out. It doesn't matter. Who cares? All right, you'll see him in a second here.
...capable and very intent on holding the homeland at risk. While we have been focused on keeping the peace overseas, our adversaries have been quickly modernizing their nuclear forces, building out ballistic missiles capable of hosting multiple warheads, building out hypersonic missiles capable of...
And this guy in front, will you move your head? All right?
Attacking the United States within an hour, traveling at 6,000 miles an hour, building cruise missiles that can navigate around our radar and our defenses, and building submarines that can sneak up on our shores, and worse yet, building space weapons. It is time that we change that equation and start doubling down on the protection of the homeland.
I mean, I want to hear more about the space weapons, okay? Because in my mind, when you say space weapons, I just think a satellite with with some form of armament. What are these space weapons? All right, tell me more about the space weapons. How are we defending against the space weapons? The dome, okay? The space. I don't know. Space weapons, guys. I don't know. It just sounds like generic fear stuff. It's like, hey guys, the whole world is coming to get us. We got to put more and more money into the military. Okay, fine. As if that's ever been not the prerogative of America since day one. It's just to pour like half of all of our money into the military. So, wow, another kind of haphazard reason to just continue pouring more money into these military programs. Congrats, everyone.
Golden Dome is a bold and aggressive approach to hurry up and protect the homeland from our adversaries. We owe it to our children and our children's children to protect them and afford them a quality of life that we have all grown up enjoying. Golden Dome will afford that. I greatly appreciate your...
Did you hear what he did there? He called it Golden Dome. He didn't even call it the Golden Dome. Golden Dome. So now we've just got... That's how quickly this is moving, everyone. We just got rid of the portion of it. Golden Dome. Hey, how do you guys feel about Golden Dome? No, we're not doing that, guys. We have to call it the Golden Dome. Like this, I will not. This is where I draw the line. I will not accept this.
Trust in me and your nomination in me and your trust in the team to deliver this. It is a great day for America.
And also, very importantly, we're the only ones that have this. We call it super technology. Nobody else has it.
Okay, that I like. Super technology. You guys have heard about technology, right? Have you ever heard of that? Well, imagine technology. But get this. A super version of it. Okay? It's everything that technology was and is and can be. But it's like 10, 100x'd. All right? Wrap your head around that. I mean, that's going to leave you dizzy thinking about that all day.
and nobody else has really near what we have. So this is a very exciting project. This is something that will, when the general said close to 100% protection, so that's something we need. I think it's and everything's going to be made in the USA, by the way, very importantly. So it's something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And I just noticed you two, Jim, you're standing there, and behind you is a very important document, Declaration of Independence. And that was in the vault for many decades right under this area. They have vaults with pictures.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I think Trump took some steps to adorn the office in a certain way this particular day. The freaking Declaration of the Independence, he brought it out into the Oval Office. That's kind of cool. I like that. You know, we're not seeing it in the image here. Good job. Good job, White House camera people. Good job not getting a shot of the Declaration of Independence. Great job.
On top you have Abraham Lincoln. You see, that was the original Abraham Lincoln, the original Washington. And does everybody know who the middle was? General Grant. And so it's very exciting. You look over here, and above Ronald Reagan, you have Thomas Jefferson. That's Monroe from the Monroe document.
It's called B-roll, okay? Like, you have a second cameraman. They shoot the stuff that he's talking about. Okay, this priceless historical relics, these relics that are just like, come on. And then it's fine. Okay, we just have to trust that they're there.
Document. And you know who that is, right? Andrew Jackson. So we have a lot of very exciting pictures, and on the other side, likewise, some great presidents and great people. And many of these pictures people were asking about, and many of them, almost all of them, were in the vaults or nearby, but generally in the vaults downstairs. Well, we have some great. So it's very exciting, and the place has become a little different than you first saw it, Jim, right?
Yes, much
it's
better.
A little bit different, and slightly better. But to think we had them, and some were in the vaults for over 100 years. So it's pretty cool stuff. Everybody knows Jim Banks.
I mean, that is cool stuff. It would have been nice if we got to see it, but I digress.
Great congressman, and now he's a great senator from Indiana. And you might want to say a few words.
Well, your legacy with Space Force, Mr. President, is already big, but
legacy's brand new. Like, what do you mean the legacy? The whole thing is fresh out of the gate. Like, fine, okay, you're an incredible. You've had an incredible run with Space Force, which is brand new. Fine.
But the Golden Dome is going to be an even bigger legacy for our country.
And you heard what he said there. He said it's the Golden Dome, okay? So guys, we have to get ahead of this. We're not calling it Golden Dome, all right? We're calling it the Golden Dome. That's an official declaration. I don't want to hear any pushback on this. It's called the Golden Dome, all right? Please, can we just agree on this one thing? That's all I ask.
And Indiana is going to help you make it.
Right.
The space satellites that are made at Fort Wayne, Indiana by L3 Harris, all the work done at Crane Navy Base in southern Indiana is going to be a big part of it. And Hoosiers are very proud of that. We're proud of you. Thank you very much.
You'll be a big factor. Thank you, and good luck, and congratulations. You won that race by a lot. That wasn't even a contest, right?
Well, thanks to you and all your support.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Please go ahead. This is Senator Kramer, and he's one of our best. Can't get any better. Go ahead.
Well, you're very nice, Mr. President, and thanks for this. And I remember the day in your first term when you called, and I was a brand new baby freshman senator on the Armed Services Committee, and you said, I want to have a Space Force. Would you lead the effort on the Senate Armed Services Committee? And I felt so proud thinking that you chose me, only to find out later no one else would do it. But nonetheless, it worked out.
Well, no. I mean, look, he's been waiting there for his moment, right? And he had that joke prepared. I give it a 4 out of 10. I mean, look, not everyone has that charm and charisma, but we're going to give him a pass. Okay, his tie looks awful, and Trump liked it. Look at Trump's face; he liked it. So let's go.
Really, really, really well because North Dakota has some great space assets and that contribute to that and to Golden Dome. No surprise that you would be the president that would come along and put the homeland first. And this is just one more example of that. So thanks for this and for allowing me this opportunity. And by the way, let me just add my strong endorsement of General Goodline's role in leading this. I don't know anybody better, for sure, better equipped to do it than he is.
Everybody said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you would say anything otherwise, right? Like, let me just point out that I would have endorsed this other person who's not literally the one who was selected. And you know what? I'm so pleased with the decisions made now that they've already been made. And now I endorse those decisions. I mean, what a champion. Okay, he's saying what no one's willing to say, that everything that's already happened was the right decision. Wow. Thanks for that.
That's for sure. Dan Sullivan, Alaska, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for your continued leadership on missile defense. We were talking earlier how in 2019 at the Pentagon, you laid out a speech about the missile defense review.
And look, we don't need to see somebody who's all the way on the edge of the frame, even after I've cropped this video. It's like, if they were that important, they wouldn't be on the edge of the frame. Just trust me on this, guys. This is the way media works.
That had all these principles on missile defense you articulated then during your first term. And now the Golden Dome is all of that. So you're continuing to lead. We really appreciate it. The Congress is stepping up, as you mentioned right now in the budget reconciliation bill, $25 billion for the Golden Dome. And what Senator Kramer and Senator Banks and I and many others, we're working on I briefed you on this before, sir, on our Golden Dome Act, which we think will have, in terms of legislation that can help cement what you're doing right here, getting the Congress behind it, not just with the funding, but with authorization. So we're working closely with Secretary Hegseth, General Gutlein, and the whole team. So we're very honored to be here, sir. And, Alaska is the cornerstone of missile defense right now in terms of ground-based missile interceptors, in terms of radar systems and track incoming missiles. So my state is honored to continue to play a critical role in all of this.
See, but that's what I mean. It's like, look, I don't even know if Golden Dome was the right brand decision for this. I don't really like it. I feel like it's childish sounding, I don't know what you would have called it, right? But I feel like Golden Dome isn't the best thing. I mean, it's too late now. We're stuck with it, everyone. Okay? So, the Golden Dome for America, Alaska, again, this dome's getting pretty big here. Okay? Next thing you know, it's going to just circle the entire world. I mean, and really that's all it is at the end of the day, right, everyone? This Golden Dome, it's like basically having your finger in every cyber realm across the entire planet. I mean, come on, that's not really a surprise, all right? So this Golden Dome, this little picture you see here, that's just for the babies at home. Okay, to build this image in their mind of what the Golden Dome is. The real Golden Dome, it's essentially like global domination, knowing everything that's happening across IT on every possible front across the entire world. That's the Golden Dome, everyone. That's the Golden Dome.
Build on, and we're really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Great. Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. President, you had mentioned at the beginning of your remarks that this was a campaign promise of yours. Have military commanders asked for this system specifically? Because NORAD had said previously that the current system was adequate. So what does this get the United States
Somebody said the
isn't
current
already
system is
in
adequate.
before?
There really is no current system. We have certain areas of missiles and certain missile defense, but there's no system. We just have some very capable weapons that hopefully we never have to use, but we have some very capable weapons. Now, this is a different league.
I mean, there's definitely a system. There's definitely a system. There was a system. There's always been a system. Okay, fine. All right. We don't want to downplay this big initiative. But yeah, there was a system. There's always been a system. There's not a whole new system. This is just an enhanced version of the system, whatever. I've already said that 15 times, so just come on.
There's never been anything like this. This is something that's going to be very protective. I think you can rest assured there'll be nothing like this. Nobody else is capable of building it either.
Was it something that military commanders asked you for? Did they ask you to do this?
Well, let me put it differently. I suggested it, and they all said, "We love the idea, sir." It's the way it's got to be, right? But they want it, and they wanted it badly once it was suggested. I don't know if they ever thought they would be lucky enough to have it, but we were able to get it done, and we have all the funding, so pretty much tucked away. I think most.
So you hear that, guys? The military never thought of this, and Trump hit them with this incredible suggestion, and they were like, "Oh my gosh! Like I never even thought about this." You know what? Mr. President, that's actually really smart. And hold on a second. You mean you're going to be able to funnel an enormous influx of additional military funding? We think this is an incredible idea, Mr. Trump, President Trump. You are a genius, okay? We never thought about missile defense until today. Let's get this in motion. We love it. We like the idea. And we're going to do it, and now we've got a Golden Dome, and that's how it happened, everyone.
Most people feel it's very important to have. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. When you first announced this idea, critics said it would be prohibitively expensive, potentially ineffective, and could trigger an arms race in space. What do you say to those critics about that?
Well, they're wrong. It's about as close to perfect as you can have in terms.
I mean, the point is, the point of this kind of system is to look, success is when it is ineffective, okay? This is like modern geopolitics. The whole point of these systems is not to actually stop a bunch of things that are literally coming in to create horrible destruction. It's to, it's like an insurance policy, okay? You spend a fortune on these weapons and they sit there. And that's the goal. So this reporter has no idea what they're talking about. They don't understand. This is basic stuff. All right. The whole point is it's not ever really meant to ever be used. Like it's meant to be maintained and, drilled, but God hope it never gets used is what I'm saying. Like pray with all your might that this system never goes on full display.
Of real production. I told you Canada wants to be a part of it, which be, fairly small expansion. But we'll work with them on pricing. We'll be dealing with them on pricing. They know about it very much. They've asked to be a part of it, actually. They've asked us to be a part of it. I think it's something.
Imagine it's like, hey, Canada, look, we have a subscription program. It's like Amazon Prime, right? But it's Golden Dome Plus or something, right? And it's like, hey, these are your different tiered subscription options. You get to pick one, and this is the level of missile defense you'll get. I mean, come on.
Something that is great. If you can afford to do it, we can afford to do it. We took in $5.1 trillion in the last 4 days in the Middle East. And when you think about it, this is a tiny fraction of that. But we make it all here. We're going to make it all here. We have when I will tell you, an adversary told me, a very big adversary told me the most brilliant people in the world are Silicon Valley. He said, we cannot duplicate, and we can't. This was somebody that I won't tell you who it is, but you'd be amazed. We have the most brilliant minds in the world doing this kind of thing, the equipment, the space, the computers, everything. But he said that we just can't duplicate what you have there in Silicon Valley. We never have been able to, and there's a very strong group of people and very strong minds, but they can't. So we have things that nobody else can have. You see what we've done helping Israel with that. You probably wouldn't have an Israel. They launched probably 500 missiles altogether, and I think 1/2 of a missile got through, and that was only falling to the ground as scrap metal. It's pretty amazing, and this is in terms of technology far advanced from that system.
Just one follow-up on the adversaries. Have you addressed Russia's ventures in space with a space-based nuclear weapon and told Putin to stop in your conversations with him?
We haven't discussed it, but at the right time we will. Yeah.
Mr. President, with the goal of keeping Americans safe with this, can you talk about the timeline? How long will this take to complete?
We think it's going to be about a little bit less than 3 years, and we'll have a big phase-in very early.
All right, so that's the timeline, a little bit less than 3 years. I mean, these things don't happen overnight, right? But until then, let's hope for the best. I don't feel like they should have said that, better to just leave the American people thinking, hey, everything's cool. But again, everything is fine. It's just massive upgrades. I don't even think there's that much money going into this program, just like he said a second ago. All right? So, like, I mean, America's a pretty big, well, maybe it's not that big. It's big, okay? It's bigger than other places that have domes, right? So, I don't know if that makes things easier to defend or not. I mean, it's hard to compare those situations, but, 3 years, that's your timeline.
We're starting immediately with $25 billion. It'll cost about $175 billion completed, but we think in 2.5 to 3 years.
Are you confident that you can get the funding needed from Congress quickly?
Yeah. It's amazing how easy this one is to fund. Some funding is tough and some is easy. When we say we're going to save everyone's lives in a crazy world, it seems to be very easy to get. Yeah, we've already spoken to everybody we have to speak to. Everybody's I would say, Dan, everybody's in line here, right?
Yes, sir. $25 billion is a down payment in the budget reconciliation bill right now.
Yeah, so I think
Mr. President, on Russia,
people actually love it.
Mr. President, on Russia, are you worried about the reports on a military buildup along the borders towards Finland and Norway?
No, I don't worry about that at all. They're going to be very safe. Those are two countries that are going to be very safe.
And the secondly, sir, if I may, Volodymyr Zelensky is saying today that he's hoping for you to impose new sanctions on Russia. Are you considering that?
Well, that's going to be my determination. That's going to be nobody else's determination. We'll see how Russia behaves. We see what's going to happen. We have a pretty critical time right now. I had a talk yesterday for 2.5 hours with President Putin, as you know. I also spoke to all of the European, or to many of them, leaders, but they were representing the whole. And I think we had very good conversations yesterday, please.
Thanks, Mr. President. What companies have asked to be involved in building this system, and have you decided on who will be building it?
I think I'll let you answer that. You can mention some of yours from Alaska's involved, and Alaska's a big part of it because locationally they're sort of perfect. I think that's your first line of defense in certain instances, and Kevin will tell you that his state's involved. But honestly, Georgia's going to be very big. Florida's going to be very big. They're all going to be very big. Jim, do you want to talk about Indiana?
Yeah, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I live, we make all the space satellites at L3 Harris. Across the board, we're the top manufacturing state in the country. By the way, the tariffs have been very good for auto manufacturing.
They've been so good.
But this is going to be really good for the defense industry in my state. There's so much money involved here. There are going to be a lot of American companies involved in making the Golden Dome.
You might also say, you're talking about the tariffs. Here's some of the biggest auto plants in the world moving into Indiana, only for one reason, maybe two reasons: November 5th and the tariffs. Okay,
yes, sir.
But the tariffs have driven tremendous business into this country. But you have one of the biggest in the world being built.
The Honda Civics,
right?
The new Honda Civic made in Indiana. GM's added jobs. Eli Lilly moving far.
I don't know why we're talking about tariffs and Honda Civics. I thought we were talking about blasting things out of the sky. Like, what the heck do the tariffs have to do with this? Okay, like, what? Does anyone understand why this guy is carrying on about how great and how beneficial his particular state gets to enjoy these benefits? Oh, this is incredible. What do you know about the global economy and tariffs? And you're just a military guy who's getting a bunch of money, and you're grateful. And now you're just patting Trump on the head. Hey, tariffs are great. Like, knock it off. Like, have a little bit of grace here. All right, you're embarrassing yourself.
Pharmaceutical manufacturing from China to the United States, $27 billion. You go on and on with good news in Indiana and across the country because of the tariffs.
Our country was cold as ice a year ago, and now
this has nothing to do with the tariffs. Okay, I don't know. Fine, you got them all fired up on tariffs. Now, great, everyone. Now we get to hear about tariffs.
We have the hottest country in the world. This is the hottest country in the world. Nobody even close. If you look at even this last trip that I made, the respect that is paid to our country. We've went from being laughed at all over the world, and now we're the hottest country in the world by far. Dan, go ahead, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I think when you look at the system that you've laid out, it's an idea in your executive order of a layered defense. So you have initial ground-based missile interceptors, which are made by some of the big defense companies, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon. But the beauty of your vision, Mr. President, is that it's layered, it's open architecture, and it goes up into space. So this is going to be some of the new defense tech companies that are very interested in it and can bring.
I mean, look, guys, the more I hear these big military guys talking about this, it's like, this whole thing sounds fake or something. Like, the way they're explaining it is it's like you're talking to a bunch of kindergartners or something. The satellite, it goes up in space, and this is really, like, is this money going anywhere? Is this just an idea? This is like how do you hey guys, we launched 50,000 space satellites with super rockets and intercepting lasers into space. Oh, prove it. Like where are they? I mean, look, they're probably doing something, but like the way they're explaining it is really patronizing. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. This is childish. This is like the presenting stuff to a bunch of kids right now. Like, it's insulting, but whatever. Let's just get through this.
Bring missile defense at a cost that I don't think, you said it, Mr. President, is unimaginable in terms of how much lower the cost is. So it's all across the board in terms of companies. Senator Kramer and I just met with a bunch from last week that are interested in this. And you said it earlier, Mr. President, our technology sector is head and shoulders above any other place in the world. And they're going to be a key part of this. And I think that's why it makes it so exciting.
Yeah, you think? Hey guys, breaking news. The technology sector is going to be involved with like the world's most complicated missile defense program for the most powerful country in the world. Yeah, I think the technology sector is going to be involved, bruh. Wow, shocking.
Mr. President, I think one of the things that's...
And why are you interrupting? You already had your chance of saying something, but no, this is your big moment. So let's hear him out, guys. Here we go.
And you alluded to this. The new autonomous space age defense ecosystem is more about Silicon Valley than it is about...
That's what the guy before you just said. But no. You have to say it in your own way, in an even more basic way, right? No, you can't help yourself. This guy... He's got to get it in, everyone. Some people, they just have to speak.
Big metal, right? And so what's exciting about this is it makes it available to everybody to participate, to compete. Big companies, mid-sized companies, small companies, but General Gutlein is the perfect person, again, to sort all that out because he understands how it has to work together.
He already said that earlier. Like, this is completely unnecessary. I would have thrown the guy out of the room. I would have been like, thank you so much. I think you have a phone call. It's very important. Please go take this phone call. We're just about done here.
Ultimately.
And Pete, maybe we'll close with you. We have been discussing.
And notice how Trump didn't even acknowledge him. He's just like, all right, man, you're really blowing this for us. Oh, who do I have left? Well, we got Pete. Okay. He was no firebrand before, but that's all I got. Okay, so let's just hear what Pete has to say. Oh God, don't let us down, Pete.
Saying this for a long time. Pete and I used to discuss it when I was going to go on a show that he did very well and had tremendous ratings, but all he wanted to talk about was the military. He didn't want to talk about anything else. We used to talk about this. How about you closing it out?
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, without your vision willing to say and do things when other people wanted to look away and pretend like the threat didn't exist, or be focused on foreign adventurism, some other threat that we've been told is affecting us. When you looked at the data, sir, from Russia to the Communist Chinese and their capabilities, what they're trying to do to supersede us and threaten us, how do we find the best innovators, the best military leaders, the best companies, tech companies? You mentioned open architecture. That's exactly right. So multiple companies can pour into this, sir. It's a layered defense. So if you miss at one, you catch at the next. And it integrates existing technologies that can speak to each other. So it moves quickly while also investing in further ranging space-based interceptors. So our enemies, our adversaries are going to pay a lot of attention to this.
I mean, that was awful. That was worse than I expected. I was joking when I was setting this guy up here, but that was awful. I am not excited about this project anymore. I mean, I I don't have it. I don't know what to say. I'm not excited about this project. These representatives, like, guys.
Just like they have to President Trump from day one. So you're defending the homeland, defending the American people. It's going to benefit my kids, grandkids, all of ours in this room. So thank you for your leadership. We're going to charge ahead as fast as we can.
Very good. Great job, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
No cuts to Medicaid.
No cuts to Medicaid. All right, we're going to close it out with that. There you go, guys. The Golden Dome project. All right, it's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. We finally can rest easy 3 years into the future from now from all these theoretical impending threats. Okay? So tuck your kids in at night and let them know that Silicon Valley and this concept of a shape over an area is making all the difference in the world, and billions and billions and billions of dollars is going to change your life forever. Join the $1 membership. Go on the YouTube and join the $1 membership. Come on.